Cooking safely, yes. Right, yeah. That's my final answer. Cooking safely. I'm terrible.
I have a straight donation station in Jupiter.
If you're low on cash, call Sawhead.
Give us a moment at peak. Give us a moment. Right in the middle.
Go, please.
Can we just please stop saying this a moment ago?
Subtle signs that you're playing with a stick.
A bag? You want me to be intimidated by a fucking bag? What is up, Golf Sickos? We are back in the studio. That was our first week fully out of the studio.
Fully out, yeah.
Yeah, we did the Monday show from Riviera. There's Ben Boscovich, my man over there. He's wearing the yellow. Why are you wearing yellow today?
Out of respect for Jack Nicklaus.
For
Mr. Nicklaus.
The Golden Bear.
The Golden Bear.
Yeah, we were at Riviera on Monday last week, and we were at Muirfield Village on Wednesday. We are back in the studio. It feels great. What a week of golf watching that was. I mean, that was one of the truly great ones.
We stepped foot on some cathedrals.
Not even just for us. I mean, the television.
No, I know.
Was incredible. We had 5 guys tie for the lead late at the Memorial. We had 4 ladies tie for the lead late at Riviera. JT Poston, a win from nowhere. Nelly Corda, a win from the opposite of nowhere. Kind of one of those weeks where it was like, everyone was like, if Nelly could do it, She fucking did it, which is badass. The World Cup starts on Thursday. Today is golf's longest day. The boys are out there grinding, trying to qualify for the United States motherfucking Open at Shinnecock.
This ain't no normal Monday.
It's a huge, huge day. It's just one of the good ones. You know, it's like that, the Andy Bernard in The Office. I wish there was a way to know the good days while they're still happening.
We're smelling the roses here
These
today,
are
baby.
the good days. So we have JT Poston on the show today.
Right.
We have Gabby Herzig on the show to discuss the U.S. Women's Open. We've got a big one with Wyndham Clark. We've got a great Dankings. We've got an official statement. This is a good program. This is a good program for everybody. We'll start with the Memorial. So JT Poston, coming into this week, 114th in the FedEx Cup. His best finish on the season was a tie for 24th. And this one came from left field, kind of similar to Aaron Rye at Aaron Reinemick. That's what I'm calling it now.
Aaron Reinemick.
I'm calling it Aaron Reinemick.
Yeah, I think you nailed that.
So it was a 5-way tie for the lead, as I mentioned. You had Tommy, who made a sick eagle on 15. I think it was a 7-wood, maybe a 9-wood.
7-wood.
That was a 7-wood?
Yeah.
I mean, that, as a 7-wood guy, as a recent 7-wood convert, I feel like the approach shots into 15 were just like an advertisement for the 7-wood. Wyndham Clark was up there trying to back up his win where he stole the Byron Nelson with a 60. JT Poston, Ryan Gerard, and then Sam Burns. They're all knotted at 11 under coming into 17. The final group on 17. And then Sam Burns got one of the most ridiculous breaks that I've ever seen. Let's take a look at where Sam Burns' ball ended up. That is not a layup posture if I've ever seen one. Ooh, good calf
Oh, we got
strength.
a club twirl.
Good calf strength. He likes it.
And he just casually walks out of the bunker.
Oh no.
hated it.
Oh no. Is that in the water?
I think it went under the bridge.
Is there a splash?
Is that a bridge?
Oh, it's on the bridge. It's on the bridge.
on it?
He's got to play it. He's got to play it.
That's kind of
what a moment.
Huge break.
Holy shit, that's an incredible break.
Huge.
That's one of the great breaks you'll ever see. It's on the bridge. Got to pick it. It's like off a hard pan.
How did we not see it there after the shot?
That's an incredible. The ball's on the bridge. The only place that it could be for him to play is on that damn bridge. That rough is so long, and there's that thing called water next to it. He's on the bridge. He's got to play it. He's trying to. Yeah, he's got to go back for the practice swing.
He's practicing off this surface.
This is a shot that I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I don't think in the practice round they dropped one on the bridge here. I mean, I wonder if that's ever happened in the history of the tournament. It's down grain. It's down grain. It's down grain. This is doable.
These things are grainy as hell. Oh, he hits it nice. Bite. Oh man,
it was down grain. It was down grain.
He had the advantage.
Sickos know that it was down grain. It would have been a more manageable shot if he was able to actually stand on the bridge and hit it off the bridge, but it was 2 in a row where he was standing on a different surface.
Holding the metal. You know what I wondered, did that ball actually go under the bridge like we thought, and it was playable if not for that man-made bridge, and they gave him relief and put it up on top? Because we didn't see that. We saw that part of
hazard, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Asked and answered. It's okay.
Even if it's not a, like, you can't get TIO.
If it's in a hazard.
If it's in the hazard.
You're screwed.
Got it.
So he makes bogey, and then Ryan Gerard hoops a big long putt on 17. A lot of emotion. They were showing some clips of Tiger, and it was like, damn, we could use a little bit of that energy, and then he delivered it. JT Poston got up and down from like 90-something yards to save par. So Gerard was feeling himself. He's made that big putt on 17, and then this was mega, super, hydro-atomic aura on the 18th tee. So a guy yells at him and he yells back, which is fair. Let's watch the clip.
Get in the bunker!
It's not in the bunker, dog.
Oh, it's so good. It's not in the bunker, dog, and then toss in the tee. Like, get the heck. That was, we watch on mute because we do the watch long. Watch long was excellent yesterday, by the way. If you're joining us and you watched on the watch long, thank you so much. We appreciate you. But so we don't see moments like that. And when I saw that afterwards, I was like, we got to bring that.
We saw him throw the tee. We were like, man, he loved that drive. Yeah.
But it was, it's not in the bunker, dog. Dog was good too. It's like
yeah, we respect that.
We're dogs. We're dogs on this show. So Clark makes a par on 18. He gets in at -11. JT Poston hits a dart. Ryan Gerard hits it to like 40 feet, and then he races his 5 feet by. So Poston makes his birdie putt, which forces Gerard to make a really ticklish downhill 5-footer for par to force a playoff. He gets it to go. They go to the playoff. First hole in the playoff, they both have remarkably similar putts to the one that they had in regulation. Gerard did much better. He hit his to tap in range, and then you're just thinking, okay, Poston's going to knock this in. It's the same putt. He shoved it. Just good old-fashioned shoved it. And then the second playoff hole, they both hit the green. Gerard races his past. Poston kind of cozies his up. Gerard misses. It was kind of an anticlimactic finish.
For all that led to the playoff, yeah.
It was definitely anticlimactic, but what's not anticlimactic is that we got to talk to the winner of the tournament after the tournament happened. Here I am with JT Poston.
Good shit.
Thank you. That was fun.
That was fun to watch. It was chaotic there for a while. Yeah, I guess I'll just start there. Was it as fun to play in as it was to watch?
It was stressful. We definitely made it interesting. I think I would have liked to get off to a little better start those first 12, 13 holes and kind of cruise. But this place, Muirfield, is not an easy golf course to play with a lead. So, however means to get it done, we were just happy to get it done.
So yeah, I guess I'll ask you about that. I mean, I know Fleener has been on your bag forever. That bad start. Was there a conversation that you guys had of, like you're still in this thing? Like, how were you able to reset after, especially there was a stretch you were 3 over through 5 at one point, like in one hole in a 5-hole stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I think we didn't have a conversation necessarily, but I think we both knew that, we've been here before. At the end of the day, we were one back with 5 holes to go. And I sort of told myself, standing on 14T that I've still got a chance. I need to play these last 5 really well. And at the end of the day, I'm going to shake Jack's hand walking off 18th green no matter what, and I wanted to be proud of the effort that I put forth. So I just kind of put my head down and tried to make some birdies, and just fortunate enough to just get it done.
I was looking at your results coming into this week. You were 114th in the FedEx Cup. I think your best finish was like a T24. Where did this come from? Something click on the range? Like, did you have a sense this was around the corner?
I felt it doesn't seem like it looking at the results, but I felt like I had been trending a little bit. I was starting to hit the ball a little bit better. I made a putter switch last week that really was a difference maker this week. I putted really well all week, and I feel like for most of the year I had played 63 holes pretty solid, and then just would have a bad 9-hole stretch. And thankfully this week was able to kind of turn it around there down the stretch and not let it happen again.
It's nice to know that pros are like us, where you change to a new putter and you have like a honeymoon period.
Hopefully this is longer than the honeymoon phase, but certainly gets a good start for sure.
So I got to ask you about the putt on 18 in the playoff hole. It looked very similar. I was looking at the Tourcast. Looked very similar to the putt that you made without incident in regulation. Were you trying to start it that far out? Did you think it was going to break more?
No. So it was a little bit. The one in regulation was a little bit below the hole, probably right edge, just outside right edge. But the one in the playoff, I felt like was maybe a little bit more pin high. So it was a little bit more break. And honestly, I pushed it a little bit and hit it too hard. I pretty much knew it right away, unfortunately. But, thankfully, was still able to get it done next time around.
So last question, you went to Western Carolina.
Catamounts.
To have that, yeah, that's right. To have that moment with your daughter in your arms, talking to Jack Nicklaus on the 18th hole, it's amazing. Like sometimes moments like that, I feel like I've got to make you look back on this journey and just be like, this has gone pretty damn well.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that I had to it was hard to not get ahead of myself, leading this golf tournament, knowing that my family was here, knowing that, every player wants that moment of winning on the 18th green and your family being there, your wife, your daughters, your whole family coming out to give you a hug. I certainly thought about it probably sooner than I should, but it's an incredible memory that we'll have and just so happy that they're here.
What's a celebration? Are you a celebrator?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, we'll go celebrate. I don't know what that looks like. Was supposed to fly tomorrow to Toronto, so we'll figure out kind of what the game plan is and go from there. But I'm up for whatever.
You're the man, dude. Good playing this week. It was a lot of guys in with a chance. You're the last man standing. Good stuff.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good stuff from JT Poston. Biggest win of his career. 4th win sneaky on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
He wins. He also, I remember, he was the first guy, I think he won 2018 Wyndham, and he was the first guy since Lee Trevino in the 1970s to win a tournament playing 72 holes without a bogey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's a player.
Long stretch.
Yeah.
Is he playing this week? Is he going to?
I don't know. I haven't seen the
wonder if we'll get the WD.
withdrawal unlike any other. He was
going to go in another country. You know?
He was supposed to play the golf's longest day. Obviously, he's into the U.S. Open.
Didn't need to, yeah.
I would guess he takes a week off. That's my prediction. All right, let's bring on Alan Shipnuck here. We got a lot to talk about. Alan, how we doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, as always.
I wanted to start with this. So the winners of the signature events / majors so far this year. Bit of an interesting group. Colin Morikawa at Pebble Beach, Jacob Bridgman at Riviera, Akshay Bhatia at Bay Hill, Cameron Young at TPC Sawgrass, Rory McIlroy at the Masters, Matt Fitzpatrick at Harbour Town, Cameron Young again at Doral, Christopher Wright-Tan at Truist, Aaron Rai at Aronimink, and now JT Poston at Muirfield Village. To me, this is a commentary on the depth of field out there, and also I think how hard it is for these top guys to like the gap between the top, the guys we think of as blue chips and the more of the middle of the pack seems to be shrinking. What's your take on the winners this year that seem to be sometimes almost kind of random?
I'm sure Fred Ridley is relieved to know that the Masters is considered a signature event. But
I said / majors.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right. I mean, there's so many dudes out there who can play. That's always been the case, but it just feels like the level of the B+ players has gone up for whatever reason, and they're always lurking. And we've seen Scotty's had a few struggles. Rory is clearly optimized for the majors, but is kind of cruising every other week. And they're the two big dogs, but it's like there's no John Rahm out there, there's no Bryson, so it just feels like there's more opportunities for these guys to break through at these signatures. And I think it's a credit to the PGA Tour. I'm sure that there's the casuals love dominance. They like when one guy wins everything, and it kind of drives an easy narrative. But I think this has been a satisfying year with so many players taking a leap.
So, yeah, the following players are all winless so far this year. Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood, Ludwig Oberg, Robert McIntyre, Hideki Matsuyama, Victor Hovland, Keegan Bradley, Patrick Cantlay, Jordan Spieth, Shane Lowry, and Patrick Rogers, all winless this year. I put Patrick Rogers.
I love that you put P. Rogers.
I know. I was just going to say.
He's the best in the world.
He's the best player on the planet, and it's by far. So you mentioned Scotty. Scotty got a little, seemed like he had a little bit of a moment, a little bit of an outburst. Let's watch this Scotty clip, and then we'll discuss it.
I never thought that I was in water. I don't know what to do. I can't hear a word you're saying. I don't think you understand how frustrating that is. Like, that was a good shot. It really was. Busted, like the line. Went hurting out of the right. Golly. I like that shot. I don't understand what I meant to do. I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, it was 5 yards short of the green, flush 7, because it's into off the right line. Like, there's no way it could curve that much if the wind is helping this. It's so frustrating just to get this stuff wrong. And I'm hitting good shots and dropping from hazards. We cannot get the wind. I never hit this many good shots with this long. Not got a single one. Never even have a look at birdie. I finally hit one that I feel like good.
You know what? My read on this situation is he was obviously upset with Ted for getting the wind wrong, but there was a line that he didn't cross. He kept it to the proverbial we. He didn't say, you got me in the water. You know, he didn't say you got the win wrong. He said we got the win wrong. I'm frustrated. What was your take on that little situation?
I mean, emo Scotty is so amusing and enjoyable. People want more from Scotty. You know, they want him to be funnier. They want him to be more charismatic, etc. And so now he's letting us into his heart a little bit, and I like it. You know, I saw a bit of criticism of him from the bards on golf Twitter, but it's like. That was a great moment. And I mean, I agree with most of what you're saying, but you don't know how frustrating it is. Yeah, I'm sure Ted is very frustrated too, because he's getting reamed out in front of a national audience. So I think he probably does know how frustrating it is, but that was great theater. That was great television. So I enjoyed it. I mean, the bigger picture is that Scotty's not winning. And I mean, he's knocking on the door. He's still number one in the FedEx Cup points race. He's playing at a high level, but there is something off there. And he's having these mediocre rounds. It just were not a thing for the last 4 years.
Yeah. So
there's still a lot of golf to play, but you know, it's getting late early. If he's going to have another big year, he's got to find it.
100%. And part of being a caddy, a lot of times is just don't respond. You know,
that was my favorite part of that clip, was Ted just finding ways not to say anything. He was like messing with some drivers, like, I'll just rearrange these, look at my yardage book.
You know,
like,
Mrs. Rappaport and I have this conversation. Sometimes you just have to be a lighthouse. You know, you just got to watch what's going on and not react, because non-reactivity sometimes is the best way to de-escalate a situation. So I wanted to ask you about Scotty. So like you said, he's still leading the FedEx Cup. He still has a win and a solo second in a major. And he has 3 second-place finishes and 2/3 and a 4th, and he's finished in the top 25 in all 11 of his starts. But, and it's a big but, I mean, sustaining that level of winning is just incredibly tough to do. And we have seen so many guys go on little runs, not little, but significant runs. Brooks Koepka, Jason Day, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, and they rarely last longer than about 18 months. Scotty's has lasted double that, basically, already, maybe even a little bit more. Kind of started in 2022. Are we still in the Scotty run, or are we beginning to see that maybe that level of winning 5-6 tournaments a year? It's just really, really hard to keep up for even the fact that he's done it for as long as he has is amazing.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, he's turning 69s into 72s, and that's the difference between finishing second and third and winning. He's just having one mediocre round per tournament, and the standard beneath him is so high that even Scotty can't afford to do that at the biggest tournaments with the best players and the best fields. And so, I mean, again, he just had a second kid. Like that is a monumental shift in a person's life. We can give him a few months to adjust. I don't think the Scotty era is over, but he has about 6 weeks to make it a great year. And if he wins at Shinnecock or he wins at Birkdale, then all is forgiven, and the run continues. But if he gets skunked in these majors, and Rory has done a little bit to separate himself from Scotty. Like, Scotty's never won back-to-back Masters. Scotty's never won the career Grand Slam, not yet.
Could happen next week.
It could happen next week, but until it does, Scheffler was knock on the door of tying Rory for the all-time, career major championships. Now there's a little daylight there, 6-4. So, Rory has responded to Scotty, and he's talked about how it's motivated him and it's made him address some of his weaknesses and et cetera. And so I'm not saying Rory's gotten in Scotty's head, but I think these guys are so hyper competitive, and I think that's part of his frustration is, Scotty had owned the sport, and now Rory's kind of wrestled it back a little bit. And I think that, Scotty cares deeply. He burns to dominate.
Yeah.
It's very subtle, but it's there. And so, yeah, there's a lot of reasons for his frustration, but he has a month and a half to kind of change the whole narrative.
Well, also he won 2 Masters before Rory had won any Masters. Now it's 2-2 in that department. So some other finishes I want to go through with you. So Wyndham Clark finished solo third. I remember, he won in the U.S. Open. He won the Truist and the U.S. Open in 2023. But actually, in 2024, when Scotty was going crazy, Wyndham in the beginning of the season was actually his biggest challenger. Wyndham gave him a run for his money at Bay Hill. Wyndham gave him a run for his money at the Players. So it wasn't just like Wyndham won and fell off. He did fall off after that, but he's trending. He shot 60 to win that final round. He beat Scotty, he beat Siwoo. Finished solo third last week. Is he a sneaky kind of U.S. Open potential?
For sure. And Wyndham's a great anti-hero. You know, he's polarizing, and there's very few guys on the PGA Tour like that. They all went to LIV. You know, all the assholes went to LIV. But
You calling Wyndham an asshole?
you know, Wyndham. No, I'm not. But he has that potential, and that's important.
Yeah.
You know, he
knows it too. He knows it too, and he doesn't mind it. You're going to see we have this interview coming up soon, and he's an open book.
Yeah, he kind of leans into it almost, and so Wyndham's an important piece on the PGA Tour. He's not one of these vanilla nice guys. I mean, he riles people up, and so that's a good thing. The tour needs that, and having him at the top of the leaderboards is helpful because it just adds a little seasoning to the whole thing.
Another fixture at the top of the leaderboards recently has been Alex Fitzpatrick. So he finished tied for 6th this week. His 3 signature events since he won with his brother Matt at the Zurich. He finished 4th at Doral. He finished 9th at somewhere else. Truist. No, 9th at Doral, 4th at Truist, where he had a chance to win. And then he finished T6, kind of validating. There was a lot of chatter. Oh, does he deserve it? You know, did Matt basically get his brother a tour card? He's proven himself a serious player.
It's satisfying. I mean, he's given the middle finger to every critic and every naysayer, and you love to see that, no matter who it is. Like, for sure, he came in through the side door, but it's not his fault that his older brother is a baller, and they made the most of the opportunity in New Orleans, and he's definitely heard the chirps, and he's responded in resounding fashion. So I love to see it.
Siwoo came another top 10 after coming on our show, and Wyndham was the 2 guys we had on our show. Those are the 2 guys we interviewed, Wyndham and Siwoo, both top 10s. Rory tied for 12th. So we talked about his driver woes in very, I would say, forensic detail. Let's run that clip.
Yeah.
I get a little bit underneath the plane on the way down, and then from there I try to drag the handle to match it up, and then I get toe strikes, and then the toe strikes are so if I'm aiming a touch left trying to hit a cut and I get a touch underneath it, and then I try to save it by dragging the handle, I hit it off the toe and then it goes left. But then if I try to hit one with a draw or pretty neutral, I'll get still a little bit underneath it, and then I'll release it and then it'll overturn a little bit. So I have to try to get the club back out in front of me, but then when it gets out in front of me, if I do get it there, then it's about having the right release pattern on the way through.
At least the struggles after are technical, right? Instead of sort of existential.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Rory obviously struggled with the driver at the Masters and at Aronimink, and he won one and he was right there for the other. So the rest of his game is so good, but you wouldn't think it would last this long. I mean, Rory's driver is the biggest weapon on the PGA Tour, and for him now going on 3 months to have trouble hitting fairways and taking advantage of his length, it's a little troubling. I mean, the fairways at Shipnuck are wide, but
you better not miss them.
Deadly.
Yeah.
You better not miss them. Yeah, it's a half shot minimum penalty. So I'm sure Michael Bannon is on a jet right now from Ireland. They're going to work this week and get dialed in.
Well, it sounds like Rory's fully moved to England now. I mean, he was talking about yesterday. He finished the house. He went there. Then they were asking him yesterday what his plans are, and he said, "I'm going to go back to England for a week." And then, so it sounds like maybe there's going to be a lot more time in England than there is in Florida.
Yeah, it's funny. Roy dropped out of school at 15, and he's always overcompensated for that. And he really wants his daughter to have a very proper English education, and that is a huge part of this whole making Wentworth his home base. And so it's wild how these things can affect global golf tours, but it does seem like he's spending more and more time there. And I mean, he wants to be in Florida in the summer anyway.
That's
so
true.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's that. I mean, when you have your own jet, what's not that big a deal, but it's an effort, and so I think we'll spend the next 5 years. I think we're in Rory's schedule. It's going to become more and more plain that he wants to be based over there. So, Poppy McIlroy is changing the face of professional golf, and that's just how it goes.
Adam Scott finished tied for 12th. Justin Rose finished tied for 12th. The battles of the mid-40s guys. Which one of these guys gets a major first? Do one of them get that second one that it feels like their careers kind of warrant?
I know it's true. I mean, at least Rose has the gold medal, so he can claim 1.7 majors or whatever the math is on what a gold medal means. But I mean, you'd have to say Rose because he just keeps putting himself in there, and he mostly rises to the moment. I mean, he didn't at Augusta this year, but everyone loves Adam Scott, and it's so fun to watch him swing in the golf club still. But it just never feels like he's a threat to win one of these things. He'll hang around, and it's fun to have him there. But I mean, Rose is actually putting himself deep on Sunday with a chance to win. So it's got to be Justin, but. I think that if Adam Scott were to win another major, it'd be one of the most popular wins in a very long time. The whole world wants him to do it. I don't think he will, but I would be happy if he did.
Jordan Spieth missed the cut, which is hard to do. I've said on this show that I feel kind of personally affronted by Jordan Spieth's form this year. It feels personal to me, it's something's got to change, right? Like at some point you have to kind of throw everything at the wall.
I mean, his whole brand is just to be steadfast, like the consistency in his team and all of that. But you're right. Like, I mean, the wins have been so few over, the last 7-8 years. And he's had the same coach. He's had the same caddy. They're both stand-up guys. No one's rooting against them. But in the history of professional golf, when you're struggling like this, it's either the coach or the caddy usually goes, or the wife. But that's the hardest change to make. So it's like, is Jordan? Is he ready to bite the bullet and disappoint someone in his inner circle? Because they are like family to him.
Yeah.
They've been there for forever. But I mean, you see this. How many times did Tiger Woods change coaches? I mean, Rory's worked with Pete Cowan. He's worked with Butch Harmon. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting a fresh perspective. You can always go back to the OG. Like, you're not firing them into the sun.
Yeah.
It's just you're taking a break. And I think we'd all love for Jordan to get some different voices in his head. He already has a lot of voices in his head, but
some different ones.
Maybe one more is what he's missing.
Yeah. So Robert McIntyre's sneaky awful since the Masters. Just another finish I wanted to highlight. And then Alex Smalley, a couple of weeks after almost winning in the major, he shot 83-76. So this game will kick you in the teeth. All right. Before I let you go, I got to ask you about this LIV thing. Front Office Sports, David Rumsey reported that it's dicey whether LIV even has funding from the Saudi PIF for the rest of the season. It says, they're off for 47 days now, and there's talk of every event now being sort of on the brink. I have heard something similar. I've heard some rumblings that maybe the funding isn't really there for the rest of the year. What are the odds, Alan, that we have seen the last LIV Golf event that in its current form?
I mean, it's getting more likely, put it that way, because there's a low roar. I bumped into a guy at Pebble Beach who's very wired in, and he's like, it's done, it's over. Like, Spain's the last one. And, who knows? It's the funding is there, is the will there just to fulfill these promises. There's a lot of half-built skyscrapers on the skyline in Riyadh where, the Saudis have a history of just walking away. They're like, we're done. They can be utterly ruthless. And so, they've certainly given guys plenty of time to work on their plan B. It's messy for a lot of them, but I think no one would be surprised, put it that way. It's just the LIV content machine never ends. And Valderrama was a good tournament. I mean, that's a big time golf course. Terrell Hatton was awesome. And yet that front office sports report drops, and all we're talking about now is, it's kind of like in modern politics. No one talks about policy. It's all the horse race and the polls and the numbers. Like, that's the exact equivalent of LIV.
That's been their problem.
No one cares about your healthcare plan.
It's a news item. It's not a sporting story.
Yeah. So here we are again. There'll be a lot of intrigue. There'll be a lot of leaks, a lot of posturing. The next 7 weeks is just going to be an information war. I think there's no doubt that the players and the people around them, the team managers, they're paddling hard. They are trying to find investors. They're calling everybody on their phone. They're leaning on people. There is a will amongst the players to keep it going. And, $10 million purses is a big come down from 30, but it's still better than the DP World Tour. It's still better than the Asian Tour. I mean, it would be at $10 million a pop, LIV would still be your second best option. And for a lot of these guys, they don't really have anywhere else to go. So, internally, people are trying hard, but the marketplace will decide, and it's going to be fascinating.
I appreciate it as always, Alan. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Yeah, always fun. Thanks, Dan. See you, Ben.
All right, we're going to move into a little recap of the U.S. Women's Open. Gabby Herzig does incredible work for The Athletic / the New York Times, covering all of golf, men's golf, women's golf. She was on site all week at Riviera, and I caught up with her in the doghouse yesterday. Here I am with Gabby Herzig.
We're joined by Gabby Herzig. I forced you to do this interview. I offered, you were in between places to stay.
Yes.
So my wife is a big fan of yours, and she said, "Oh, why don't you let Gabby come stay with us?" It was her idea.
Oh.
And so now you're here.
Thank you, Emma.
It was legitimately like 3 minutes down the road.
So nice.
It's so nice.
Really nice after a long night of writing. And filing.
So a great night though. A great night for women's golf. So Nelly wins the U.S. Women's Open. I feel like, I've said this before. I feel like Nelly has like a burden that is probably not super fair, where like people expect her not just to like win golf tournaments, but to like
carry the entire sport.
Yeah, like move the sport forward. And this week was like circled on the calendar for a long time.
100%.
So for her to actually do it, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was literally if the USGA could have scripted this entire thing, I think it would have been pretty close to what actually transpired today at Riviera. I mean, Charlie Hull being in the hunt as well, Nelly actually pulling it out, and it kind of being like a messy finish with a lot of different possibilities. Potentially like a 3-way playoff would have been really cool, but obviously great for Nelly to actually secure the win.
Incredible. I feel like it was her short game that she won this
100%,
with. Like she definitely... She kept on missing greens and from like a foot off the green, and she chipped every time.
Chipped everything,
which I thought was psycho.
Yeah, she said she was talking about that, and she said she just likes chipping better, and she's always liked chipping, since she was a little kid. Which I understand. Like I feel like my brother does that. Like if he's an inch off the green, he'll just pull out wedge, and I've always been so confused.
Yeah, because I feel like you want to putt it when you can. Because I feel like when you get the wrong person, they'll be like, "What are you talking about? You always should putt it." Like one of these caddies, you tell them you want to chip, they're like, "That's crazy." But yeah,
she got up and down 24 times out of her 30 missed greens.
24 out of 30.
Yeah. I thought that was insane.
That is insane on a U.S. Open course.
Mm-hmm.
How was it like being with the women out at Riviera? Like I felt like they were all very like awed by the place and grateful to be out there because it's the first time they'd hosted a women's event.
Yeah, first time they've hosted a women's event is like pretty insane. The fact that
been around for
Riviera
like 100
is a
years.
very historic place.
Yeah.
So long time coming for sure, but I think they were very grateful to be there and like really soaking up the entire experience. It felt US Open-y in the way that like everyone was like in awe of the golf course, I would say. The energy was really great out there. I think the players were excited by like the fans and the interactions they had. I would say the property could have probably been fuller throughout the week.
Well, that's a problem even with the Genesis.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like for whatever reason, Los Angeles golf fans, no offense, are like, they kind of suck.
Well, I think it's just Los Angeles.
They don't know golf, and they don't clap at the right time.
Oh, you noticed that when you were out there?
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, like, I mean, LA sports fans are historically bad.
Yeah.
Like
I honestly didn't realize how bad it was.
No, it's bad. Like, when the teams aren't good, no one cares, and then, like, everyone jumps on the bandwagon.
Yes.
It's a big thing. So Charlie Hull, I feel like every year in the U.S. Women's Open, she makes runs, and she's been close. I have a take that I feel like if every week was like a really, really hard, big golf course, I feel like Charlie would probably have a bigger standing in the game than she does with her golf. Like I feel like if every week was set up like a U.S. Women's Open where it's 6,700 yards, like her game just feels like it would travel the best on big, hard golf courses. Yeah. What was she like after the round? Was she bummed out?
I didn't see her press conference because I was out there watching Nelly, but I think it was interesting earlier in the week, or actually after Saturday's round, she said that, she likes the chase sort of vibe out there. And I think that actually comes to bite her a little bit on Thursday and Friday rounds because she doesn't have something to like nail in, like laser focus on. Yeah. Instead, she's like maybe trying to avoid errors or trying to like make a cut. I think she said something about how she had felt like she had nothing to lose on Saturday, which is a hard mindset to have on a Thursday and
you
Friday.
You got a lot to lose.
100%.
Yeah, when she shot 66 or 65 on Saturday.
Yeah. She had a low round of the week.
Yeah, and then she got after it today. She had the eagle to start, and then it was an awesome week, man. That's definitely the most like of a women's golf tournament that I've ever watched before. And what?
Big admission.
It's true. I mean, it's true. Yeah. I don't know. I watch a lot of golf, and I wish that I could watch every single tournament at all times.
It is hard to get it all.
But it's hard to get all of it in. But I feel like it was a big week. So Nelly now has won the first 2 majors of the year.
Yeah.
Is it unfair to start asking how many she's going to win this year? Or are we thinking?
No, I mean, I don't think it's unfair. I honestly think she's like one of my big takeaways from this week is how much better she is than a lot of the women out there. Like she said in her press conference that she had her B game this week.
Yeah.
And she won by 1, and she missed greens all over the place. Her driver was like off the face of the planet on Thursday, and she manages to get herself back in the tournament with a grip change in the middle of the tournament. I thought that was mind-boggling. I hate grip changes.
It did. Grip changes. You feel like you can't even hit the club.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
No, it did feel a little Tigerish, where it was like, I don't know that he's playing the best, but his baseline is so much higher.
Better, yeah.
And I saw a stat. I think Sean Zock posted this from Data Golf that like a couple of years ago when she was winning and winning and winning, she was like 3.3 strokes gained.
Okay, yep.
She's like over a stroke better so far this year. So that's interesting. You can just tell that she's just got another level.
I think her baseline is much higher, and like you can tell how frustrated she gets by like perfectly decent shots.
Yeah.
And it's like, it honestly kind of felt like Rory winning the Masters this year, how he was like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, he just wasn't feeling good about his swing, and he was trying to fix it after every round, and she was too. Like she had her sister Jessica out there literally watching every shot, talking through these changes, like strengthening grip in the middle of a tournament. I feel like that just takes that like extra level of athleticism that maybe she's kind of just a step above people.
She's way above. I know that Gino took the number 1 spot for a second. Nelly's got that back, but it's not close in the major conversation.
I don't think so.
And also, like, I saw she said, LeBron was congratulating her and Tiger was texting her. Like, she's head and shoulders above everybody else right now, just in terms of like overall stature in the women's game.
Like just national awareness of who she is as a golfer. Like she was in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Met
She attended the Met Gala last year. I feel like the next 2 days or 3 days will be really interesting to see how many like appearances she accepts, because she's historically been like more of a guarded personality, I would say. So I'm curious if she goes on like a late show, or like she'll definitely be on Pat McAfee because he's been having her left and right. But like she said earlier this week, she doesn't want to be the face of the sport. Like she doesn't think of herself as the face of the sport. And for all intents and purposes, she is right now, and I just want to see how much she embraces it.
It is sort of like a Scotty situation where like when Scotty's winning so much, you can tell like it's just the last thing that he wants to do.
For sure.
But, Scotty doesn't have this expectation to do it because, it's different.
There are other guys.
Right. Whereas the Nelly, it's like the whole, I'm sure the tour is like begging her to do everything that they could possibly do.
Yeah.
But
It's I feel like I do sympathize with like that. It's a hard thing to carry that weight around. And for like what she has had to answer to so far in her career, like it's been pretty impressive how she's been able to perform with that.
Yeah. Well, she's got 4 majors. She's 27 years old.
Yeah.
It's a lot of majors. There's still 3 majors left this year.
Yes, I know. I think the stat was the youngest American maybe to reach 4 majors since Mickey Wright in 1960.
That's a long time ago. So we got an American superstar. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
Now you can access the guest bedroom.
Yeah, thank you for my Thai noodles that Emma's making me right now.
I said before you get into the guest bedroom, you have to do the interview. So I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Good stuff from Gabby. Great.
It fills the orange chair nicely.
Yeah, that's right. That's your chair. Yeah. You didn't feel a little weird about that situation?
Honored.
Yeah, good.
Gabby Herzig, you kidding me?
She did a great job.
Honored.
She's awesome. All right, let's hop into the Knockaround, which is presented by Knockaround. I am back in the panoramas. I was in the tide pools for a long time. You're always in the panoramas. Ben's wearing the black on black panoramas, as he likes to do. These are just the best sunglasses for the right price. The best sunglasses for the right price. The best sunglasses for the right price. The quality is incredible. I mean, the fact that the way I treat these sunglasses is not that kind. But you know what? They stand the test of time. I throw them in my golf bag. I grab them with my sweaty, greasy hands. I put sun cream on them. And they're just perfect every single time. And we have a promo code for you. If you go to knockaround.com/golf, you can look at all the golf sunglasses on offer. And if you put in the promo code DanOnGolf20, you get 20% off your order. So it's June. It's the height of summer. We are getting into big-time golf season all around this great nation. Everyone's playing golf now. It's time to load up. Grab yourself 3, 4, 5 for less than the price of one of the other guys. Knockaround.com/golf, promo code DanOnGolf20. All right. LIV Andalusia. Tyrrell Hatton got the W. He missed the tournament last week. I think it was for the birth of his child, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a good roster of wins. He's won at St. Andrews a few times. He's won at Wentworth, Bay Hill, and now Valderrama. So big time win. I saw Joaquin Niemann also locked up an exemption into the British Open for his standing on LIV so far. So Niemann is going to he's into the U.S. Open and the Open Championship, so a chance for him to make that major statement. The DP World Tour, the KLM Open, was won by Eugenio Chacarra. His second win. He's up now inside the top 10 in the standings. Now, we know the Eugenio story. He left Oklahoma State to go to LIV. Then he said LIV, winning didn't really change his life. It wasn't what he was expecting. Kind of threw some darts at them while he was walking out the door. He goes back to DP World Tour to try to get to the PGA Tour through that pathway. He was in the playoff to get into the U.S. Open in Dallas. He decided to leave to get to Belgium on time so he could give that proper attention and try to maximize his time on the DP World Tour. He got his second win.
Paid off.
Yeah, paid off. He's in great shape. And also Angel Ayora, who we did a great video with, who has maybe the prettiest golf swing on the planet. He finished tied for third. The BMW Charity Pro-Am, which I think is like one of the premier Korn Ferry Tour events, like in just terms of golf course experience, won by Ben Coles. So Ben Coles has gone back and forth a few times. I think he's played in the PGA Tour 3 seasons, had to go back down. He's in good shape to get back. Blades Brown finished tied for 17th, so he stays in 11th. Gabby actually had this piece of news that he is playing the next 7 Korn Ferry events, so 6 more. He's just powering through. And we've talked about Blades is kind of in this situation where he's got this special temporary membership on the PGA Tour, so he can get as many sponsor invites as he wants. And he's a big name. He's still 19 years old. He'd get a lot of those invites. But he's like, I'm going to focus on one thing. I'm going to play these next 6 on the Korn Ferry Tour, and I'm going to get enough points to secure my PGA Tour membership. He's 19 years old. His body probably feels great. He can play every single week. I think it's a good decision.
I like it. I feel like he's treating KFT like college.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to be the king of KFT. I'll achieve that. And then I'll move on.
And he makes money in the process. So good stuff from Blades Brown. The NCAAs, that wrapped up just after we finished our show on Wednesday. So we'll start with the individual. Preston Stout, he won the individual title, likely Masters invite. It's not guaranteed because the Masters can invite whoever they damn want. But in the past couple of years, so long as the NCAA champion stays an amateur, they get an invite to the Masters, which is why it was a big story when Michael Lasasso left Ole Miss. They still won the SECs without him. But it was a big story when he left because he forwent.
I always wonder if that's
foregoed. I think it's foregoed.
That just sounds dumb.
He forwent his Masters invite to join LIV Golf. So Preston Stout has been a strong number 2 to Jackson Coyven all year in the college ranks. He's played 3 years in the Big 12 at Oklahoma State. He's won the Big 12 all 3 times. He's number 2 in the World Amateur rankings. I don't think that he has his PGA Tour card locked up through PGA Tour U Accelerated like Jackson does. Maybe he could this summer. He's going to get some invites. But if he stays one more year, he'll likely get to play in the Masters in April. And the team, the Auburn Tigers, second time in 3 years they won. So
whooped ass too.
Yeah, whooped ass. Auburn is a powerhouse. Coach Nick Kleiner's done an incredible job there. Jackson Coyven has now won the team national championship 2 of his 3 years. Now the question is, what does Coyven do?
Yeah.
So Coyven's had his tour card locked up since the end of his sophomore year. So he could have gone at the beginning of last year. He decided to stay in Auburn for another year. He won 6 times. He won the Nicklaus Award. He won the Haskins Award. He won the Hogan Award. He's best player in college golf, number 1 amateur in the world. He also played a bunch of PGA Tour events last summer, and he finished in the top 11 in all 4 of them. So he forwent about like $1 million or something like that. And now the question is for Jackson, what is there still left to do in the amateur game? Yeah. He's won 2 national championships with his team, Auburn. He has not won the NCAA individual championship, and he's not won the U.S. Amateur. The U.S. Amateur is not till August, so there's no chance he stays amateur through that whole process because he's not going to forego the whole summer when he could start at the Travelers Championship. Even if he were to stay for his senior year, he could start right at the Travelers Championship, which I think is where Ben James is going to start. Maybe even it's this week. Ben James won the PGA Tour U from Virginia, so he goes straight to the PGA Tour. So the question is, does he stay in college for a whole year to try to win the NCAA individual championship? I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either.
I think it's time for him to go. And I think him having the success that he had at Auburn this year, but even more importantly, the summer before his junior year, he was finishing top 10 in a bunch of PGA Tour events. He knows his game is ready. It's time for that young bird to leave the cage.
He could have done this 2 years ago. He's now 2 seasons in a row got away with the risk of staying.
Yeah.
As your game goes away, you get injured.
Hasn't happened.
Like, all kinds of stuff can happen. He's proven himself right. I'd say cut your losses.
Yeah.
Go to the pros.
I think that's right. Just a quick shout out to UCLA, right? Just down the road. They practice at Brentwood Country Club. I see those guys out there. They entered the week, I think, like 30th in the rankings. They were a shock when they won the Big Ten, and they got all the way to the final. They
beat Texas,
they
right?
Beat Texas. Then they beat Arizona. I mean, it was a great run for Coach Arman and the squad over at UCLA. So that's a proud program. And they're fighting an uphill battle. All of these programs have incredible facilities and their own golf courses. UCLA, they get to play incredible courses in LA. Hopefully those courses stay open. We'll see what happens with the tax situation. But they get to play Brentwood and LACC and Hillcrest and Bel Air. But they don't have a practice home.
Yeah.
They don't have a course where they can go. And I went to Florida. They made it to match play. Coach Deacon, I love Coach Deacon, one of my favorites. Those kids drive their golf carts to Mark Bostic Golf Course, and then they just hit balls whenever they want. They have an hour. The UCLA, they have a little hitting area that's like on a public recreation field, and they have to stop hitting balls if there's like Quidditch practice.
Literal.
I'm not even kidding.
I know, you're not kidding.
So I think
Did Omar tell you that he had to stop one time?
That's a thing. They have to stop when there's like intramurals going on. So it's incredible work from the program at UCLA. It was a good knockaround. A lot of golf. It was a great weekend of golf, like we said, one of our best. All right, we have an official statement. Andy, cue the lights. Look, golf is you coughed at the beginning.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We're going to start over. Look, golf is a very unique sport in that the field of competition changes every single week. In soccer or basketball or football, you know what you're going to get. The dimensions are set. In golf, the course itself is a character in the story. It's a key character, and there are good characters, and there are great characters, and there are some not so great characters. So we were blessed with 3 incredible characters this week. This was Golf Course Solstice. You had the women at Riviera, my favorite golf course on the planet. Every single shot is interesting. There's no frills, no water hazards, just a proper test. You had Muirfield Village for the Memorial, which I think along with TPC Sawgrass is probably the best course for testing modern touring professionals year in, year out. That Friday round, you had guys shooting in the 80s. Justin Thomas called it the hardest round of golf he's played on tour. And then you had JT Poston shooting 65. And that's the mark of a great test, identifying the best players and separating them. And you had Valderrama, a course in Spain that predates LIV Golf and will outlive LIV Golf. It's perhaps the best golf course, one of the best golf courses on the continent of Europe. Trees everywhere. I love it. Look, as the PGA Tour continues to reshape its schedule, it is vital that they lean into incredible golf courses, sometimes even at the expense of in-person crowds. Some places like Muirfield Village, they're blessed with both. They have an incredible course and an incredible fan community that turns out. Riviera, not so much. LA fans, I know. Unfortunately, it's true, but these events are, at their core, especially now, a TV product. The vast majority of people who consume a PGA Tour event do not do so on site. There are weeks for massive crowds. Think about Scottsdale. But there's also space for incredible courses that, would require a smaller build-out. I can tell you that I know the PGA Tour is actively looking at these type of venues. Maybe they don't have the space, or maybe they don't want 30,000 people a day on their course. That's fine. Look, there are going to be 25 or so huge weeks on the PGA Tour moving forward. How about we identify some incredible golf courses that maybe won't draw a huge crowd or don't want a huge crowd and say, you know what? That's fine. This is an incredible golf course. It will pop on TV and it will make for incredible viewing. You know the courses that I'm talking about. PGA Tour, be brave. Go to some courses that can't have big crowds on site. It's a TV product. The stuff will pop on social media. It will pop on TV. There's room for both in our sport. My thoughts, Ben.
I think that the thing that you pointed out that means the most to me is what we saw at Muirfield this week, which was Columbus and Dublin showing up and being there. That creates more of an energy than if you go somewhere popular and try to get a lot of popular people to show up and celebrities or whatever you do to like pack the house. Like real genuine golf fans that are grateful that the tour is coming to their town. That's kind of what the tour was built on in the first place. And I hope that has a place.
For sure, there's definitely space for both. But I would say that's what the tour was built on. But if you look at the modern tour and how the modern tour gets its viewers, it's from TV. It's from social media views. And courses like Cypress as a pipe dream, or courses like Pine Valley as a pipe dream, like that stuff's going to pop in a different way. People are going to tune in to watch that golf course because, like I said, the golf course, our sport is so unique. We have the opportunity where it's not the characters are not just the golfers, it's the course itself.
The weather is a character.
The weather is a character.
Outdoor sport.
It's an outdoor sport. Things happen. So you got to take advantage of that and go to these courses and not have, this sort of roadblock of, we can't have 20,000 people a day there. That's okay sometimes. Yeah. I really think that's okay sometimes.
But I also think that in those places, those are communities you can rally to be a Columbus. You know what I mean? Like a Pine Valley and a Philadelphia.
Pine Valley, they're not going to have 20,000 people on site.
Well, yeah, but the people that they can get there, they can still get the community to get excited about what's going on in their city that week. Like, you know as well as I do that a tournament is more than at the grounds of the tournament. Like, it happens in the town that it's in. Like, if there can be all the marketing and activations that come around these events, like you can still rally a community and make it that great community feel, but take advantage of what makes for great TV. We're agreeing. I'm saying do what you're saying, but also like don't forget to get in there and like make sure the people that are there are stoked about it, not just the people like us that, well, we're media different, but like to fly in.
Yeah. I think it's fair, but I just this week just reminded me that, like, from my perspective, golf is so much better when the courses are interesting, and all 3 golf courses were bangers.
You said it. Watching every single shot at Riviera is great TV.
Yeah.
So like having the women's major there, and even if you weren't as familiar with the players you were watching, like that's a shot you want to watch, no matter what hole or where. I
was
at.
locked in, and it was the same set of players in other tournaments that I haven't been locked in. Now, why am I locked in? Because it's the U.S. Women's Open, and it's because it was Riviera. So that shit matters. All right, let's roll into a really great interview with a guy who's a little bit polarizing, Wyndham Clark. You know, Wyndham did something really stupid last year at Oakmont. He's put his hand up and said that was really stupid. But, you know, I think in this day and age, everyone wants us to be so black and white. Someone's either all great or all bad. That's not how life works. I just really enjoyed this chat with Wyndham Clark, so here I am.
All right, we're joined by Wyndham Clark. So the last time you played golf on the PGA Tour, you only needed 60 shots to complete your round. You ever shot 59 before? Like even in
No, never. I haven't broken that threshold yet. 60 a few times, 61 a couple times.
So this was an interesting 60 because 59 wasn't really on the cards because you kept making birdies. But there was a moment in that round where you felt like, okay, this could be something like pretty special.
So honestly, no. Like at Pebble, I felt it. You know, like I was 8 under through 10 and 9 under through 11, and then you're actually thinking about it. This one, because it was more of like trying to beat Siwoo and Scotty, and like, okay, they made another one, I got to make another one. It was more of like chasing them. That was my mindset, and I didn't even, to dead honest, didn't even realize where I was at relative to par. It was more like, okay, I'm 1 up on them. Okay, now I'm 2 up. That was really my mentality. And then, you know, when you finish, and then I got to reflect on, I'm like, oh my God, if I made that putt on 16, I could have gone birdie to shoot 59. So I didn't think about it till after.
Beating Scotty, awesome, feels great. Beating Siwoo, I got to think, you know, Siwoo's a great guy.
Yeah, I did feel bad.
I feel a little bad for Siwoo, you know?
I did feel bad. It was funny afterwards. I went and met with the head of CJ and all the people that were there, and they were like, congratulations, but you beat our guy.
He's got the hat on. Yeah, he's the nicest guy in the world.
He's like, you beat our guy, and it was kind of a funny moment. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. So you're an equipment free agent, and I was watching a video that you're actually a bit of a club junkie.
Yes.
So is that like the coolest thing ever when you're a tour player who you literally any golf club you could just say, hey, I want to try that one.
I mean, you should come to my garage. You would. It's maybe better than any sort of PGA Tour, Golf Galaxy, PGA Superstore. It's better than any of those. But it is. It's a lot of fun, but then it's also a little exhausting, and you need to eventually learn to say no, because these guys see you testing. I mean, if I'm testing one thing, all of them go, "Oh my God, Wyndham's testing." Boom, all of them right there. Try this, which, yeah, is fun for a golf junkie, but at the same time, we got to get the ball in the hole, and you don't want to be super confused.
How many different clubs do you think you've tried this year?
Oh my gosh. I tried one iron set for one day, and then I went back to my Titleist. I've used the same wedges, but woods, putters, and drivers have just been, I mean, almost every week till about 4 or 5 weeks ago, that I've locked in the exact same club.
We're set though for like.
Oh, we're set.
I mean, you're playing some good golf.
Yeah, there's no reason to change.
So you're playing good golf now, but you weren't playing good golf for a while. And I'm curious, is it harder to struggle on the golf course when you haven't proven to yourself that, okay, I can win a major championship, and you don't know if it's possible, or is it harder when you've been at those heights and then you drop a level?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know. I'll just say what I know is when I didn't have a win and I finally won, it was such a relief. And then I would say when you lose it a little bit, or in your mind you lose it, is when it's like maybe more aggravating, because you're like, well, why am I not where I was? And then that's where a lot of the judgment on yourself comes in, which is all negative stuff that you don't want to do. But that I think is more frustrating, because it's like I was there and you're so close to all of that, and now you seem so far. So I would say that's almost tougher.
So I was looking at a side by side of your swing now versus last year. It's different, like different to the naked eye. How does a guy who videos your swing all the time, like your golf swing is, it's pretty important, pretty important part of what you do. How does it get so off? Like, for me, it's hard to wrap my head around that happening. Where like now you're like, oh, I'm getting back to where I was. how does that slow bleed even happen?
So here, the honest question is, I worked with multiple swing coaches, and then at the end of 22 went solo, no swing coach. And that also meant I really wasn't looking at video. So my mechanics going into 23 and 24 were really good. And I think just over time, because I wasn't looking at my swing and was just strictly going off of contact, divot, start line, and shape, which is great to do, I then started doing some bad things of like cupping my wrist, too much lag, leaning back more, etc. And so then when I finally worked with someone and saw my swing, I'm like, holy smokes, it looks so bad. So that's how it happened. So it was a great lesson to learn that, like, hey, don't play golf swing, but also you need to work on your golf swing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I said, it's pretty important.
It is pretty important. But what I did going without a coach was huge. Like,
why, just like ownership and all that stuff?
Yeah, I owned my swing and I got into just playing golf. Like my best 2 years, I didn't have a golf coach. And I thought there was a lot to say about that, like just learning how to do your own golf swing. Now I've learned, like, all right, I have some tendencies. I need to make sure I don't ever do those again.
So we're going to air this the week before the U.S. Open. You are a U.S. Open champion. Take me through those 24 hours after winning at LACC.
It was, do you know the story?
No.
Okay, so we went, it was epic. So we went, afterwards you sign tons of stuff. I went back, I had like 40 to 50 friends and family in there. We were all drinking from the trophy. It was so much fun. Smiling, celebrating. The lady engraved, my name on there with all the greats. It was so awesome. My really good friend asked the lady, he's like, how long have you been doing this? She goes, 40 years. And he said, have you ever drank out of the cup? She goes, never.
Oh, she's got to do it.
Yeah. And so we poured champagne in there and she took a sip, and she was the first one after it was engraved. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That is very cool.
So that was a cool moment. Then we went to Delilah, and I didn't have time to change out of my clothes, nor I didn't have any tennis shoes or anything. So I wore my cleats to Delilah, ruined a table. It happened. We then went out later. We went out later. Fortunately, I know the guys, so they sent me an invoice, and we said
you covered it.
Yeah. So then the next morning, we were off to go to New York for all the media, and I order a dumb order of lox and bagels in the morning. I ate the lox and bagels. We get in the car, and I have to pull over, and I am throwing up so much.
Really?
And then I tear the lining in my stomach.
No.
And I actually had to go to the hospital. No one knows this.
Day after?
Day after. I was in the hospital for about 2-3 hours.
Did you tell the doctor, hey, won a golf tournament yesterday? I mean, what's that conversation like?
No, I mean, I was a little embarrassed, but you know what? It's a true story. No one really knows. I'm going to let everyone know now.
I appreciate it.
I don't care. I'm an open book. Allie's going to hate this. But then we flew to New York, and then I did all the media stuff, and just like that, I'm like, holy smokes, I'm on Good Morning America, and your life changes like this, and you just look
yours
up.
Especially. Like, yeah, that was. I mean, you'd won Truist before, but it wasn't like you'd won 5 major championships. It was like spotlight. Here you go.
Oh yeah, and it was there. And I mean, it was pretty cool. And then I proceeded to play good golf for the next year and a half, which was really fun. And I'm hoping to get back there.
I have a Delilah story. It's way less cool than yours. Bachelor party, Las Vegas. We had a.
That's the best Delilah.
Yeah, well, I'll just wait for the rest of the story. We were at the beach club, Encore Beach Club, and we had it was 14 of us, and we had a reservation at Delilah. And I probably the most mature decision I've ever made. I saw the state that we were in, and I know Delilah's an upscale establishment, so I called and canceled. So I've never actually been, but we would have had like legal troubles. Like,
you think so? It was that bad? Well, bachelor parties can get that.
And mine was the first one. I got married young. I was 27, 28. So all like the energy in Vegas too, like the first one. I remember sending in the group chat. I was like, "Where should we go for the bachelor party?" They're like, Vegas."
Yeah.
It's like not even a question. What's your favorite course in the PGA Tour?
Easy question, easy answer. Riv.
Yeah, it's my favorite course in the whole world.
Yeah, it's in my top 5.
The ladies are playing there this week.
I know, it would be interesting. I heard they're playing back on 10.
Yeah.
That could be carnage.
Yeah, I was interested to see that if they were going to move the tee up. They didn't move the tee up.
I mean, if I ever have to lay up for some reason, I'm terrified. Because you're like, I could make a 6.
Well, it's one of those where you look at the historical data, and as recently as like 2015, it was like half and half. And then like as everyone started learning about like getting it closer to the hole, it's everyone sends it now.
You just send it, and if you get out of position, finish and you're like, all right, I just whatever I can do to make par.
Yeah. So you said you're an open book, and you said that you were thrust into the spotlight. Obviously, there's been some negativity recently. I get a lot of negativity, so I know it's not fun to deal with. What's it been like over the last year and a half or whatever, being like a bit of a easy target for people?
Yeah, well, at least you're a target, right? You got to look at it as a positive thing. It's fine. I mean, you know what? There were some tough times, and it sucked. But you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be the trolls and the people in life that are going to look at you and you're under a microscope and say mean things, but they don't know who the true Wyndham is. And I made some dumb decisions in moments of frustration, and this game is so difficult. And it gets to you. There's really no other sport in my mind that just after playing poorly for multiple weeks and you show a score and everyone talks about it, that it just hits you hard. And I got frustrated, and I was in the limelight, and then just felt like it was drifting away. And next thing you know, I'm in headlines for things I don't want to be in headlines for.
Right, but winning helps.
It does help, and it's also nice just to be. It's pretty much a year removed, and things do go away, and I imagine coming up to this US Open would be kind of hopefully the last time I really talk about it. And then it's on to the next chapter, and you know what? I want to show people who Wyndham really is, and hopefully get back in the winner's circle.
That's Wyndham saying to Dan, this is the last time that you're going to be asking me about that?
Pretty much. Subtly.
Who's the funniest guy on the PGA Tour, you think?
Ooh. Can I name a couple? Because I just can't think straight off the top of my head. I mean, Siwoo for multiple reasons.
Siwoo has a comedic. There's a certain. It's pure.
Yeah, it's not like he's even trying sometimes, and that's what's so great is everyone's like, that's just Siwoo. Xander's sneaky, really funny. People don't really see it on. Contrary to me, he's very by the book on interviews. Yeah. But behind scenes, he is not PC, and he's hilarious. I'm trying to think who else is really, really funny. Gosh, that's all I can think of right now.
All right, who's the most underrated player on the PGA Tour? Guy that maybe the public doesn't know. Maybe they haven't won something huge yet, but the guys on the tour, like if you know with this guy.
I would have said, like a year ago, I would have said Goddard, but now he's obviously there and made his. I think that Michael Brennan is. Holy smokes,
he hits it hard
and so nice. I mean, he might have the best driver ball flight I've ever seen.
Like a little cutter like yours, or?
Well, yeah, but it's just like so flat and so good. I mean, I watch it and go, oh my God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Who's a guy I know you live in Scottsdale, Arizona. You reminded me of that when I didn't put you on the list of Scottsdale.
I did. Yeah, you're welcome.
Who's a guy in Scottsdale that you don't want to play in money games? Hard to beat.
Well, for a while it was Ches Reavie at Wisbrock, and now it is JJ Spawn.
JJ's tough.
Oh my God. Well, at Wisbrock, anywhere, JJ's playing amazing golf. He's a great player. But at Wisbrock, it's like the holes that I'm in between driver and 3-wood, it's like a perfect driver for him. Yeah. And he just never hits in the desert. And he, for a while, and probably still is, we haven't played in a while, would shoot between 6 and 10 under every time. Yeah. And it was just so frustrating because you're like, he never makes mistakes. And so he's the guy. I mean, right now, he's the guy at the Rock.
All right, JJ, my last question for you. You have a rule that you'd like to see changed?
Oh, so many.
But I remember you were the one, when the ball was like rested in a pitch mark.
And then came back
into it. That rule was changed.
Which is nice.
Okay, but what's another one?
My thing, and I don't know how they do it, is the mud ball. It's the most frustrating. I don't think anyone in the history of golf has hit a good mud ball. Like genuinely, I would love to know what shot it was, because you can't judge a mud ball correctly. Like I just don't know how you do it, and it's unfortunate because you hit it in the fairway where you're supposed to hit it, and then you're penalized. And I've had it where I hit it, get a mud ball. Terrible result after that, and a guy hits in the rough and like he hits it on the green, either makes birdie or par, and it's just doesn't seem fair. So I don't know how you do it. Like everyone in the group agrees, yeah, it's a mud ball, clean it and drop it, but that's probably the rule.
Do you feel the same way about divots?
Divots don't bother as much because I think it's a skill to be able to hit out of a divot.
But you're saying there's no skill, like the best prime Tiger's got no control of a mud ball.
No. Yeah. Because you don't know how, is it actually, they say it's opposite, right? If it's on the left side, it's going to go right and vice versa. You don't know, okay, is it actually going to happen? Is it really going to go that much? And you don't know where to aim, and it almost becomes a knuckleball, so you have no control.
It is interesting. You guys do so much work hitting a ball that's like it's a round ball, and then when that happens, the ball's not round, so it kind of messes with the aerodynamics a little bit.
Actually, you know what's funny is the fact that we practice everything. I don't think anyone's ever practiced mud balls. We probably should.
Yeah. Just put a little clump on the left one, a little clump on the right one.
Plug it in there and say, all right.
Well, the good news is I don't think there will be any mud balls at Shinnecock.
No.
Pretty firm place. You been out there?
I went the Sunday before Byron Nelson.
Guys were saying a little wider than they anticipated, but the rough is brutal.
Yes, correct. I mean, that place, you could have it be runways and it would still be difficult. Those greens, similar like LACC, like those greens are so difficult. And if you have bad angles or missing the wrong spot, like you're just trying to save bogey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Have you been out there?
I have been out there. I played the U.S. Open Media Day, like 30-mile-an-hour wind.
What'd you think?
It was really difficult.
Yeah.
You know, the first hole lulls you into like a little false sense of security.
Yep.
I think the first shot that you hit there is the easiest shot you hit all day. It's like a 4-iron off the first hole, and you're just in the middle of the fairway, and then you realize the rest aren't that simple.
No. Yeah. And then you get to, I mean, 11's one of the coolest par 3s I've played, but I mean, holy smokes, can you just, next thing you know, you look up and I just made a 7 on a par 3.
Did you play 2018?
I didn't play 2018.
No.
That was my rookie year, and I didn't qualify.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah.
I know that. I just appreciate you doing this. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you could easily say no to this kind of stuff, and I appreciate that
Not
you're an
to
open
you,
book. My man.
Yeah. There you go.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
If you're still like having all this anger toward Wyndham Clark after that interview, I'm almost in awe of like just the anger that you can hold in your heart, because I feel like it's about as I'm sold a little. He won me over a little bit with that.
He won me over. I'd love to crack open the grape with
a little bit of grape
with Wendy.
Crack
See
open
where the night
grape.
takes us.
Well, I think you might want to crack open the grape for those of us listening for this next Dankings, because this is one of my favorites. You know, I have a weird obsession with doppelgangers, with lookalikes. Maybe there's other people that are watching that when you're with the boys and you're just like out at dinner or lunch and you're just like, that guy looks like that guy. No, he does. Oh my God, it's such a good one. We even like send it in the chat. You know, yesterday there was a guy who was eating right next to me who looked just like Drake. So I took a picture and sent it to the boys, and they all liked it, and then we moved on with our day. So we are going to be ranking the top 10 pro golf doppelgangers. Which people do professional golfers look like? We will start with number 10, Luke Donald and Neil Patrick Harris. You can see this list?
No, I haven't seen any of these.
You see the similarity.
Absolutely.
I haven't. Have you watched How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
I feel like they're very different people.
Well, his character in that is definitely very different. But yeah, they both have a lot of poise, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, he would play him in a movie, 100%.
100%. Okay, number 9. This one's a little. I'm a history guy. We're dipping into the history book here. We're going Denny McCarthy and the man who shot JFK. Lee Harvey Oswald.
My God.
That
is insane.
You seen that one before?
No.
Yeah. I told Denny once. I was like, "Everyone gonna tell you that you look like Lee Harvey Oswald?" He was like, "Yeah, I mean, sure."
I mean, it's so. I'm surprised no one's told him it before. That's crazy.
He had been told, but it was like not something that he was like, super proud of.
Not stoked on it.
Yeah, it's just not the best person.
Put a hat on that guy. You got a golfer.
Number 8, we're going Justin Thomas and Frankie Borelli. Frankie, when we were at Barstool, used to get this one all the time.
Wow.
It's just this similar like body shape, you know?
There's the facial, the smile. They have the same smile.
They do have the same smile. It's just those two guys look alike, you know?
Oh, man,
and I think they're both aware of it, which is great. Okay, number 7. Dustin Johnson and Charles Kelly from Lady A, formerly Lady Antebellum.
Oh my God. I didn't even know who that was.
Yeah, the guy in the right, beautiful singing voice, by the way. I mean, love some Lady A bangers. When his beard is a little fuller, it's like uncanny. He actually almost looks more like Austin Johnson,
yes,
brother.
Yes,
but there's a big similarity there. Okay, number 6, young Ricky Fowler and Ryan Sheckler.
I've always thought this. That's such a good show.
With they both had the sort of like 2008.
You kind of resemble a Sheckler a little bit. You guys have the similar.
It was very nice of you to say. He was a heartthrob.
Yeah, he was.
But this is not about me. It's about
Sorry.
Okay, number 5. We did young Ricky and someone else. We're going Scotty Scheffler and young Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is just like that one picture, but holy shit, do those guys look alike?
It's crazy. We brought this up before.
The facial structure, the chin situation. Those guys, those are doppelgangers.
The humble smile.
The humble smile. Okay, number 4, a classic one here: Nick Faldo and Harrison Ford.
Oh, big time.
Look, I mean, those are just two. Guy on the right's a little more handsome than the guy on the left. Guy on the left's a way better golfer, though. Guy on the left's a way better golfer.
Facts.
But as they age, I feel like it gets even more and more simple.
I'm only aware of one fairway Harrison Ford's ever hit, and I think it was at Penmar with his plane.
Oh, yeah, he landed a plane at Penmar, just down the road. I forgot about that. What a good pull. Okay, number 3, Billy Horschel and Christian Bale. Just the intensity, the kind of pointy features, the nose. If there was ever a movie, based on Billy Ho, he's going to have to do some things on the golf course for there to be a movie about him. But if there was, Christian Bale would be the first call. All right, number 2, Jackson Suber and Joe from U. And this is more with the hat situation.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
Big time.
It's, just that character is very, very, that's a great show. The first two seasons of that show are incredible.
I love that show.
But every time I see Jackson Suber, I just see Joe from U kind of hanging, he just wears that hat and he just thinks that no one can see him. He's like watching her, doing the business in her apartment. He's standing right outside. He's like, I got a hat on.
I got a black hat.
All right, number 1, this is a runaway winner. Rasmus Højgaard and Nikolai Højgaard. I mean, I follow golf as closely as people can. Can follow golf. It's impossible to tell them apart when they're not swinging a golf club, and even when they're swinging a golf club, it's that simple.
This is our favorite game to play during Range Report.
We play Guess That Højgaard. I get it wrong 50% of the time. A phenomenal Dankings.
There's no one that looks more like Rasmus than Nikolai.
There's Rasmus and Nikolai.
I'll give you that.
I mean, you think, Alex Fitzpatrick and Matt, they don't look anything alike.
No.
Rasmus and Nikolai, maybe I just don't come across identical twins that often in my life, but those two are.
Identical twins aren't always like 100 to 100.
And they're also both professional golfers, who wear a lot of the same clothes, same sponsors.
Same fertilized egg.
It's crazy. Okay, we're going to move into Give Me a Winner. Rick Gehman is traveling right now, so very kind to record something for us. Here's Rick Gehman.
All right, guys, wish I could be there with you in person, but duty calls and travel is busy this time of year, but it's not going to stop us from talking about the Canadian Open. And let's start with TPC Toronto. I think we have to acknowledge that there really isn't that much history here, and that this could be a blind spot for us this week, because it's only going to be the second year that TPC Toronto has hosted the Canadian Open, with last year being the first. We don't know a lot about this venue or how it's going to play statistically over a long period of time. We know that Ryan Fox won this event at 18 under par. That was a playoff over Sam Burns. We know that the scorecard says it's going to be about 7,400 yards as a par 70. That's certainly skewing longer on the PGA Tour, but length and distance alone is not a huge detriment to players in terms of scoring average. You need to do more than that to kind of stop these guys from beating you up. So I expect something similar again this week. Maybe they bear down on 20 under par as a winning score, somewhere adjacent to that. I also think the distance off the tee is good. I don't think it's necessarily a prerequisite for success. And I think there's a lot of different ways to get there, but I acknowledge that there's a lot we don't know about this venue. So I've got 3 guys for you, top 20, top 10, and a winner that I think not only fit well for this golf course, but are playing well right now. And let's start with the top 20 market. Christopher Rayton has been fantastic. He is really proving out to be a solid player. And when he won the Truist Championship, that was definitely a surprise. He was 100 to 1 to win that week, but it was not out of nowhere. He had led in with a handful of really good starts prior to that. Then he won, and he hasn't really slowed down since. He just continued to put together great performances. He's an elite driver of the ball. If you look at it on a strokes gained basis, he's right there with Chris Gotterup, Xander Schauffele, Minwoo Lee. Those are guys that I would describe as elite drivers on the PGA Tour, and Rayton is right in the middle of them. I also think, fellas, that he's kind of just freewheeling it, right? I mean, he wins the Truist Championship, week of his life, changes his entire career trajectory, and there's just nothing stopping him from going out there and playing well. He's got all the momentum in the world. He's got no pressure. I'm asking him to finish inside the top 20 at the Canadian Open, and I think it's something that he is certainly well within his range of outcomes. My top 10 was almost my winner. Admittedly, I'm bullish on Colin Morikawa, not just now, but moving forward. We had the injury at the Players' Championship, which did set him back from playing as much as he probably would have wanted to, but it didn't really stop him from playing well. I mean, he still has those 5 top 10 finishes, including the win. A handful of those great finishes were after the Players' Championship. He is still the best iron player on the PGA Tour. He's gaining nearly a stroke per round on approach. He leads the tour in that category, and he's an incredibly volatile putter, which if you're looking for upside, that's a good thing. He might average out to a 0, but some weeks he's going to gain 4, and then he loses 3, then he gains 5, and he loses 5. Like, if you're looking for upside, that's kind of the path to get there. The only real knock that I have for him is he hasn't played competitively since the PGA Championship, so we just haven't seen him recently, but I really love the stat profile for Morikawa, not just this week, but for future weeks as well. And then finally, my winner, is going to be Tommy Fleetwood. And I think there's a few things here that really set Tommy apart from the rest of the field for me. First and foremost, if we look back just a couple of months, he probably would have been a consensus third best player in the world. He started off 2026 so well. And he went into a little bit of a mini slump, but it was short-lived. The thing that he never lost was the driver. He's gained strokes off the tee significantly in all but one measured start this year. And we're starting to see that elite high-end iron play come back to Tommy. And what I also like about his skill set is how well-rounded he is. Let's admit we don't know the paths to the top of the board for TPC Toronto. Well, the good news for Tommy is he has a lot of paths to the top of the board. So I'm looking to see if he can just continue this success, continue this run, and pick off one at a weaker field up here in Canada right before the U.S. Open. All right, fellas. Always good seeing you. Talk to you soon.
All right, Ben. Time for the Zone Dog Race.
Time for the Zone Dog Race. This week became a bit of a theme with the tournament, unexpectedly. A guy that won this week on the PGA Tour, he's got 4 wins, but he seems like one of those guys, right? Like in 15, 20 years, we might be like, oh, remember JT Poston? Okay. I don't know if you remember this on Deadspin. They used to play a game called Remembering Some Guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've all done a version of that.
So, and it's just like sharing doppelgangers with your boys. So I just want to remember some guys. It's less of a competition. Let's give them all their flowers, but you can give the biggest bouquet to the guy that, you know, we should talk about a little bit more, I think.
Okay.
In the history and the
Love it. Let's do it.
The PGA Tour. So let's start off with Bob Tway, a name I'm sure that you know. Okay. He's famous for one shot, basically. He holed out from the bunker in '86 to beat Norman in the PGA Championship, but otherwise kind of a ghost. I feel like Bob Tway, here he is celebrating in that very tournament. Okay. Let's give him some flowers. Or we're going to give Steve Flesh, great last name.
Yeah.
Multiple wins, a lefty. Yeah. But also maybe too forgotten.
Yeah, Chrome Dome.
Chrome Dome.
Steve Flesh.
Who we like?
Steve Flesh had some success in the senior tour. That's a when you said like, for the way I'm treating this is like when you say it, who gives me the biggest rush of emotion when I'm like,
oh yeah,
Steve Flesh.
Steve Flesh. Okay, Steve Flesh on the top of the totem pole right now. Can he beat out Carl Peterson for your love?
No, he cannot. Carl Pedersen was a fucking
Pedersen. Sorry, it is.
Won
Pedersen.
the Memorial, had this awesome golf swing. One of the like classic hoverers of the driver.
Oh yeah.
Before it was cool, and this thing was so rhythmic. Carl Pedersen used to get hot. Carl, that's a great pull. And
won 6 times.
I'm going with Carl Pedersen.
Also a great dresser, so you know I was going for that. All right, Pedersen at the top. Now this next guy, he was like pretty big in name, less so in career. Tommy Armour III.
Sneaky a legend, kind of like a driving range legend, where people guys like, oh, TA3, like this guy, you know, he's comes from a.
I mean, look at him with his hair coming over the visor.
A great family of golfers. Tommy Armour's, you know, one of the OG greats of American golf. I'm sticking with Carl Pedersen.
Okay.
I watched him more as a child. I also think of him as like he was in the Sasquatch era.
Yeah.
You know, with the I don't know if he had the square driver or the one that Tiger used, but I'm sticking with Carl Pedersen.
Okay, Carl Pedersen. It's still we're gonna go. There's a lot of family guys I'm learning out that end up in the shadows. Jay Haas won 9 times on the PGA Tour. Played forever.
Yeah, Jay
He's
Haas.
the father of Bill. Somehow his son is more famous than him.
Father of Bill, brother of Jerry Haas, who's been the coach at Wake Forest. The Haas is a golfing family. I think Jay Haas I feel like he played some Ryder Cups. I feel like he's a little bit less. When I think of like remember that guy? Carl Pedersen's a really damn good one. There's one guy I have in my head who could beat him. The odds of you picking that guy are pretty low, seeing as the potential pool of people is everyone.
It's like when you ask, is this guy going to win a major? It's like, no,
probably not. I'm sticking with Carl Pedersen.
All right, what about Scott Hoke, an 11-time winner on the PGA Tour, a Ryder Cup stalwart. He nearly won the Masters. He's got a long career, but it's kind of been swallowed by the era.
Sticking with Carl, man. Just because I'm personal to Carl.
You're personal to Carl.
He's going to be really, really difficult to beat. But Scott Hoke is definitely a name that was, you know, a mainstay in the 1990 leaderboards.
Now, this next guy, I think we've talked about him a little bit more, but maybe just not enough. David Toms. That's a name you know.
David Toms is a good one. David Toms won a major championship. He beat Phil. I remember this is when Phil still hadn't won his first one yet. I think he won the 2003 PGA, something like that. He laid up on the final hole. I remember. David Toms had a really good career.
13 wins.
Louisiana boy. But again, he's a major champion. I think if we're going for the deep cuts here, I'm going with Carl Pedersen.
Carl Pedersen.
All
right, Carl Pedersen or Bob Estes. Another name that when it popped up, I was like, oh, Bob Estes.
Yeah, he's been mean to me on Twitter, so we're going with Carl Pedersen.
We're going with Carl Pedersen. Okay. Yeah. Carl Pedersen or Brian Gay.
Oh, Brian Gay.
Great driver of the golf ball.
There's a subset of golf Instagram and that is obsessed with Brian Gay. And this is led mostly by Joe Mayo, who says that Brian Gay is like the greatest chipper ever. He talks about Brian Gay all the time. I also saw a video last week where someone was talking about Jackson Coyven, and they were talking to Buddy Alexander. Yeah, I think it was Buddy Alexander, who's like a former tour pro, coach that was helping out at Auburn, and they were telling a story about. I was talking to Buddy Alexander, and I said, how good of a putter is Jackson Coyven? He said he's better than Brian Gay. So Brian Gay is sort of if I'm going with Brian Gay.
Yeah, that deep cut aura right there.
Good job.
All right, there's one more. There's one more to beat Brian Gay here, and it's not. I don't think it's going to be who you were waiting for, but just a great dresser, so I'm throwing him on here. Duffy Walder.
It is who I was thinking of.
Are you serious?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, crazy.
No, not Duffy. Not Duffy. That's a great name.
Four-time winner.
Miller
Lite shirt.
Duffy. You wouldn't think that's a great golf name. You don't want to duff a lot out there.
Like Adam Schenk.
I'm going with Brian Gay just because I've been seeing him pop up in the algorithms recently. Brian Gay.
Brian Gay is back. But shout out to Carl Pedersen, who really almost won this race.
Run. That was a great one. That was one of your best ones. Do you want to know the person who I was thinking of? Paul Goydos.
Goydos. He was on the long list, honestly.
Paul Goydos. You want to talk about a guy who's got hibachi hot. This guy had a 61 in him at all times. I used to love Paul Goydos.
Do you know who the guy I think of in this bucket for me is?
Should we just start naming guys?
Stuart Appleby.
Like
got his autograph.
Robert
Allenby and Appleby. Those two guys, dude. Oh my God.
The Aussies. Good stuff, man.
That was great.
That was awesome. What was also awesome was a performance from our dog of the week. Our dog of the week is Nelly Korda. No surprise here. It's not fair, but there's a lot put on her shoulders, right? Not just to win and to be great on the golf course, but to grow the sport. And this tournament was circled for a long time. The U.S. Women's Open, first time they've held a women's event at Riviera. It's in Los Angeles. By far, it's kind of the Masters for the women's. Absolutely iconic week. She goes out and wins the thing. She birdied 16, 17, and 18 on Saturday. It reminded me of Tiger at Torrey in 2008, where he makes this electric run on the back nine to get himself into the final group. There were 4 players tied for the lead. She was 2 back on it, and she just held steady. And when she got to 17, you were thinking, if she can birdie this hole, this is her tournament. And what do the greats do? When they have that opportunity, they grab it. She made like a 12-footer on 17. She hit a perfect drive on 18. She was driving it beautifully. She hit a good second shot into the fat part of the green. She tried really hard to miss that putt.
Oh, my God.
She tried really hard to miss that putt. But you know what? You know what the thing about 2.5-foot putt is? They're binary. They either go in or they don't.
And dogs get breaks.
And it went in. And Nelly Korda winning the first 2 majors of the year. She's setting all these records of first woman, the youngest woman to get, American woman to get 4 majors since Mickey Wright. And she's on this incredible trajectory. And she's got LeBron James invested in her, and she's got Tiger Woods invested. There's a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and I think the way she deals with it is pretty awesome. Her theme in the press conference after was just like gratitude. She's 27 years old. She's already had this incredible career. Here she was after the round.
14-year-old girl that stepped on the range at Sabonics in 2013. I mean, her dream has just come true, sitting next to this trophy right now. I mean, it's really hard to put into words. I've had so many amazing moments in my career but I'm just grateful to be sitting right here.
Just an incredible week for the women's game, an incredible week for Nelly Korda. She's an absolute superstar, an easy call for our dog of the week. All right, we'll move into Chirps from the Gallery. It was a major week for the women. It was a major week on the golf internet, as always. We're going to start with a black glove at Riviera brings one person to mind. A little nod says Burke over par. One of our famous LA golfers, O.J. Simpson. There are a lot of stories about O.J. after he got off, being like, let's go to Riv. And Robert Kardashian being like, that's not how this works. Like, you're not just like good forever now, but the black glove... I actually thought more of Michael Jackson. That might be because I'm watching the Michael Jackson documentary.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Not a good it's a good documentary. Pretty disturbing stuff. I think I was a little too young to like really appreciate. I remember Michael Jackson when he died where I was. So that was like that was kind of like a where were you moment. But it's really interesting. Michael Jackson's music is absolutely incredible. Michael Jackson the person, a little less incredible.
Yeah, welcome to the club, man.
Yeah, that's true. He's not the only person.
I was in Europe at a discoteca when he died. So
I was at Broken.
You can imagine the playlist changed quickly and got awesome.
Yeah, his music is sick. Okay, Justin Thomas, they released the tee times for Memorial, and unfortunately it was an odd number that made the cut, so he was going full Steven Glansberg.
I love a Steven Glansberg ref.
It's of our generation, guys in our 30s. We're just a couple guys in our 30s. So is Justin Thomas, Steven Glansberg.
We've all seen Superbad.
He's an iconic. Mark Calcavecchia pointed out an awesome statistic. One of the things about Riviera, it tends to evade the greats, at least on the men's side. Nelly Korda has won there, but Tiger Woods never won there. And this is Mark Calcavecchia. It just dawned on me. Watching U.S. Women's Open, Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods never won at Riviera, but I did. Yay for me. Steve Elkington also commented that he had won twice at Riviera. So Something they have.
Battle with some guys.
Something they have over Tiger. Keegan, we've talked about how the whole Northeast is just Keegan's home game. You know, every time there's a tournament in Philadelphia, in Boston, in New York, there. You know, Josh Culp was wondering if Columbus, Ohio, is close enough to the Northeast for Keegan to claim it as a home game. I don't think so, but you better believe if it was in Pittsburgh, your hometown, just a couple.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be on the other side of the Appalachians, and then you're in.
Fair enough. Kenny Kim. He's got an Oberg t-shirt. Oberg Anonymous. He said he has Oberg derangement syndrome. He's going to need one of these shirts because he bets Oberg every week that he plays. Megacorp got some good screen time this week because JT Poston is sponsored by Megacorp, and we reminded Alan Bassable, you know, this was a quote, a real quote from somebody who works at Megacorp. We kind of laugh along with it because I do understand, like, Megacorp is coming. But once you get to know us and the people behind the fun name, fun is an interesting word, we're really awesome, hardworking people that care. We're not trying to take over America in an evil way, just trying to make sure that everything gets done in a mega way, in the best possible way.
That doesn't change my fears about Megacorp. That was just vague enough to keep me afraid of Megacorp.
And we'll finish with Claire Rogers, who does incredible work. So she tweeted early in the week, Nelly wore black and red. She's looking to become the first Nike athlete wearing red and black to win at Riviera, and it was a success. Nelly got it done. I can't believe Tiger never won at Riviera. And the fact that he hosts his tournament at Riviera, like the only course that he played like 12 or 13 times without winning, is pretty incredible.
He's got to do like a MJ at the Grove and like set up Genesis one year to just be perfect for his old man game so he can...
He's going to make it like 5,000 yards and you can use carts. It's downhill to every green.
I don't know if that gives him an advantage.
All right, Zone nicotine. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine, it's an addictive chemical. Underage sale is prohibited. Golf is very competitive. We saw that this weekend. When you play golf, you know the competition can get pretty heated. The same goes for the all-new flavor of Zone nicotine pouches, jalapeno lime. We've got some right behind me right there. It's a burst of citrus meets a subtle, fiery kick. Each pouch is a premium nicotine experience with intensity and flavor that lasts. It's now available in 6 and 9 milligrams. Do you want Zone pouches at a discount mailed right to your door? Get 20% off at nicokick.com/zone, NICOKICK.com/zone when you use promo code DanOnGolf20. We're going to leave you guys with our clip of the week. This one's near and dear to our heart. Alex Bush he's a dog dad. He's got young Poppy. You know,
young Poppy.
A nod to the McElroy family, perhaps. And Alex used his power of editing to give us an incredible clip of his dog. Quick programming note: we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be in the studio on Wednesday. We have a big interview on Wednesday. Really big interview with someone that, if you watch YouTube, you're very, very familiar with. We'll see you at Golf Song Day. I'll be watching, commenting later. I don't know if I'm going to stream. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, here's the clip of the week. I love you guys.